Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
Right now, at both locations of Team Honda, the Dream Deal sales event is now even better. For a limited time, get 0% financing on a great selection of certified Hondas. The savings are yours at Team Honda on Segan Lane in Baton Rouge and Team Honda of Acadiana on I-49 just south of Opelousas.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hello and welcome as we start the Tuesday edition of the Clarence Bug Show, our only show for Christmas week, so be advised as you make your way through the holidays. Here's hoping all is well with you and yours and your little slice of chilly South Louisiana heaven since the last opportunity we had to spend some time with you and yours. Obviously, frigid weather is going to be the story for this week. If you've not already done so, do your housekeeping chores. The 3 Ps, pipes, plants, pets. Start making preparations now, guys and girls, if you've not already done so, because as you know, here in South Louisiana, weather of this sort is an aberration. Nowhere near the norm. And of course, for those of you that are making plans to travel for the holiday season, you might need to adjust those somewhat. When we're talking temperatures in the 20s in South Louisiana, travel can easily become a nightmare. If you are traveling, particularly by car, may not be a bad idea to do like the folks up north and particularly along the eastern seaboard do this time of year. Throw some extra blankets, warm clothes, food, water, pack that in the car because you never know. Driving down the highway, going over the river and through the woods to grandma's, all it takes is one idiot on the interstate and you're stuck there for hours at a time. Ounce of prevention, certainly worth the proverbial pound of cure. And of course, it is also the time of year when we get temperatures this cold. Make it a point, check on your neighbors, the elderly, you know who they are. And this time of year should be a joyous time. The last thing we want is for some elderly neighbor, loved one, friend, to pass away during a power outage, loss of heat, what have you. It's the Christmas season, y'all. It's the time where we look out for one another. Here in South Louisiana, it's a part of our DNA, but a little extra checking certainly could not help. In other Louisiana news, I saw this story, I want to say it was on Saturday, and it spoke volumes to me. It said to me, this explains why it's unrealistic many times for us to expect state government to solve problems around the state when they can't solve problems literally in their own backyard. If you know anything about the Louisiana State Capitol, you know that there are 3 lakes, capital lakes, surrounding that structure. If you know anything about Capitol Lakes, you also know that for 30 to 40 years now, it has been polluted beyond belief, poisonous, toxic. As a matter of fact, there are signs that have been there for decades. No swimming, no fishing. As a matter of fact, God forbid, don't eat anything you happen to catch there, if there are any fish still alive there, and don't even be exposed to the water because of PCBs and other toxic chemicals. Well, the governor announcing that he has now sent a letter, I guess 30, 40 years too late, to the Environmental Protection Agency, asking them to add Capitol Lakes to the list of Superfund sites, hoping to get some federal funding to try and clean up Capitol Lakes. Ironically, I mentioned 30, 40 years late. And to show you how slowly the wheels of government often turn, the governor, in making this announcement, said that it's going to take some time before we see any measurable improvement. It is anticipated that it will take anywhere from 3 to 5 years before the work can actually begin on cleaning up Capitol Lakes. You know, it should say something to us that we're talking 30, 40 years of deadly pollution, and for the last 30 to 40 years, every day during the legislative sessions, sometimes twice a year, others, state officials that work in the Capitol building, drive past these lakes every single day. How many of our children have taken a field trip to the state capitol to tour the facilities, driving past the lakes, and for 30, 40 years, it's been a toxic mess? I guess in the grand scheme of things, it should say something to us that this has been going on in their own backyard for decades upon decades upon decades. And we reasonably expect them to fix problems all around the state? Kind of unrealistic. If you can't clean up your own backyard, how should we reasonably expect you to clean up the whole neighborhood? Gesundheit. And at some point, we're going to get mad when people talk about those backwards folks in Louisiana. Yet another classic example of how many times we live up to low expectations. Finally, in Louisiana news, it happened again. Interstate in Baton Rouge shut down by a bunch of idiots in cars. No, not regular traffic. That's a different story for a different day. Stunt drivers, stunt racers, flying around, lighting fires in parking lots and then doing burnouts and donuts around the fires, destroying property, disrupting commerce, the whole nine. BRPD says a number of citations were issued. One car was towed away. This has become an alarming trend in Baton Rouge and other places as well. New Orleans has seen a share of this, as has other cities. I don't know what is going through the mind of Mayor Broome and others in our city, but enough's enough, y'all. Are we going to wait until someone is killed by the actions of these irresponsible individuals before we drop the hammer on this? It's a sad commentary that this has been going on for quite some time now, and it's getting ramped up with every passing week. Now, I hope that we don't wait until there's a tragedy involved. Recently, legislation upped the ante, $500 for a first offense, $1,000 for a second offense. Obviously, the message is not being taken seriously. I guess I'm just old, but I would like to think people have better things to do with their time and their vehicles than to engage in stunts like this. And of course, it's posted all on social media, and many times they give advance notice that this weekend we're going to be doing such and such, this week going to be doing such and such. What a sad commentary that it's going to take someone being killed or some people being killed before we decide, you know what, enough's enough, and we're not going to take this foolishness anymore. And sadly, human beings being what human beings are, you can expect it to escalate. Human beings are creatures of habit. And the things that we do regularly, typically, if it involves criminal behavior, are things that end up escalating. Running from law enforcement, we've seen that escalate. Stunt driving, we've seen that escalate. The natural progression in all of this is that there's going to end up being a horrific accident from these idiots running from cops, running from law enforcement, forgive me, officers, after being spotted engaging in this criminal behavior. I only hope that we get a handle on this before it escalates to that point. Because this is one of those things that we are charged as a civilized society with keeping to a minimum. First break of today's show. When we come back, got a couple doozies for you. If you are wondering what we're talking about, second segment, the Tuesday edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, the time we dedicate to absolute, utter stupidity. That's right. It's time for yet another illustrious edition of Now That's Just Stupid. That's next when we continue the Christmas week edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Hey everybody, I'm Kevin Gallagher. This is Roy Fletcher. We hope you'll join us for Fletch Nation, especially if you like talking politics.
Hey, come and join us. We'll give you the information, and then we'll give you the context. And by the way, we'll give you fun too.
Lots of fun. We hit the local races, the state. We even look at what's going on all across America. And by the way, this space is available. If you'd like to talk about advertising, send your emails to Roy Fletcher at royfletcher.com and join us every week here on the Pelican for Fletch Nation.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Make the most of every moment together in a 3-row Mazda CX-9. Find yours during the season of inspiration.
Make no payments for 90 days on a new CX-9 during the season of inspiration at Team Mazda.
Hi, gang. Clarence Bugs here, inviting you to come by Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard, where we tape the show live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 o'clock. Come by and feast on news, sports, current events, love of God and country, and lots of common sense, along with some of the best barbecue anywhere on the planet. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Old School Barbecue, home of the Clarence Bugs Show.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
Welcome back to the Tuesday edition of the Clarence Bugs Show. It is the second segment, and of course, time for another edition of Now That's Just Stupid. But you'll notice, we're not talking ordinary, everyday S-T-U-P-I-D. The level of stupid we're talking about here requires its own spelling, as the graphic shows you, S-T-O-O-P-I-D. As in, now that's just stupid. We start here in the capital region. It's cold outside, right? For many of you, Clarence, it's not just cold, it's bitterly cold. Well, 3 people in Port Allen this weekend apparently didn't think all the way through their engagement in a criminal enterprise. The 3 of them go into a Circle K and run out with $150 worth of liquor, stolen liquor. They jump in their vehicle to make their getaway. The manager jumps in their personal vehicle and gives chase. They jump on the interstate, where the manager then calls law enforcement, who joins the chase. The 3 liquor bandits take off down the interstate, get off at the Whiskey Bay exit, and if you know anything about Whiskey Bay, that's pure swamp and woods. That's all there is. So they lead law enforcement on a chase, eventually bailing out of the car on foot. You can't make this stuff up. Do you know how cold and damp it is in the swamp right now? And for those of you that are thinking, well, maybe they took the liquor with them to stay warm while running from law enforcement. You do realize, do you not, that after the initial feeling of warmth, when you down a shot, alcohol lowers your body temperature. So law enforcement, after searching for these individuals, announced that we've now shifted our focus from arresting to rescue and recovery. Hopefully, the one person still at large got to spend the night outdoors in the swamp in below 30-degree weather with nothing but some alcohol to stay warm. Aside from that, I guess it is beyond comprehension for some people. When you engage in shoplifting, that stuff's not free. A store is not going to eat that loss. All they do is raise the price of everything else so the decent, hard-working folk get to pay more because you didn't want to pay for what you wanted. Hopefully, they'll find said liquor bandit, but I wouldn't rush. They ain't going anywhere. Just saying. From Baton Rouge, we shift all the way to the left coast. I don't know right off the top of my head what tuition is at Stanford University, but I've got to imagine it's upward of 50 grand a year. Stanford this week released their guide to eliminating, wait for it, harmful language. How have we arrived at a point in time in our country where institutions of higher learning, allegedly, some of the best and brightest among us, are of the opinion that words need to be changed because they hurt people's feelings? Stanford, in an effort to eliminate harmful language, revealed their multi-phase, multi-year project to eliminate harmful language in the following categories: racism, violence, biased, ethnic bias, ethnic slurs, gender bias, implicit bias, sexual bias, and others. They point out the words and phrases that you should no longer use and give you recommendations on words you should use instead of. For example, you shouldn't use the term American because, according to Stanford, typically American only refers to people from the United States. And the Americas are made up of 42 different countries. So if you use the term American, you're saying that the United States of America is more important than the other countries that make up the Americas. You can't make this stuff up. Instead, you should use the phrase a citizen of the United States. They also point out in the sexual bias of words, no longer use the word child prostitute. Instead, use the phrase a child who's been trafficked. Trafficked for what purpose? Ah, okay, I get it. Karen. You can no longer use that. Instead of saying a Karen, use, quote, a demanding or entitled white woman. So what about the black Karens? I know a bunch of them that are entitled, but I digress. Of course, wouldn't be Stanford, wouldn't be higher education, wouldn't be California if they didn't have a section on race. According to the good folks at Stanford, You should no longer use words like black hat, black sheep, black mark. Because, after all, there was a negative connotation about black back in the day, designed specifically to deny black people the right to vote. Here's a question. Does that now mean that people that look like Clarence, we have to go back to being Negroes? Because you can't say black. And you are paying upwards of $50,000 a year for these people to educate your children? The lunacy never stops. They also say, in the category of violence, you should no longer use violent terms like beating a dead horse or killing two birds with one stone. I'm just going to venture a guess here on beating a dead horse. If the horse is dead, the horse won't know if you're beating him or not. Will it not? So what does it matter? Killing two birds with one stone. If I'm hunting with, Marty, what do you call the deal where you got a leather strap, a pouch, and you put the rock in it, and you sling the rock? Not slingshot. Slingshot, typically we think of, okay, all right, for the sake of the conversation, let's say slingshot. Suppose I have a slingshot, and I throw the stone, and I kill two birds. What am I supposed to say when somebody asks, hey, bro, I see you got two pheasants. How'd you get those? Well, I killed two birds with one stone. At the end of the day, y'all, these are supposed to be our best and brightest. Kind of lets you know what we have to look forward to as a nation, do we not? Not enlightened, stupid. Thank God I no longer have a child in college. Because if I was paying the kind of money that some of these schools are asking for these days, and my child was being taught what some of these people are teaching, instead of being the host of the Clarence Bugg Show, I would be on the Clarence Bugg Show. Local man shows up at college raising hell over what his child is being taught. Unfreaking believable. But it is America. And like I've said before, I've never seen it personally, but I'm sure it has to be buried somewhere deep in the bowels of the Constitution. It explicitly says, it's America. You got a right to be a moron. Bottom of the hour break. We'll come back and talk more about, speaking of stupid, and the federal government when we continue the Christmas week edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Right now, at both locations of Team Honda, the Dream Deal sales event is now even better. For a limited time, get 0% financing on a great selection of certified Hondas. The savings are yours at Team Honda on Seagan Lane in Baton Rouge and Team Honda of Acadiana on I-49 just south of Opelousas.
Hi, I'm Katie, Operation Manager here at Old School Barbecue. We're excited about all of the changes here at Old School, And we'd like to invite everyone to come out and enjoy some delicious barbecue at old school prices. We feature brisket, chicken, ribs, sausage, and the Boss Hog pulled pork sandwich voted best deal in town. We also have live music Friday and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. We can't wait to see you.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Caught spiders?
Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to the Christmas week edition of the Clarence Bug Show. You know, if you were raised by worthy parents, you learned through the years that one of the things they would not stand for was you lying to them. It was particularly egregious if you told a lie, you knew it was a lie, and they knew that you were lying to them. All of the evidence was right there for the whole family to see. And when given the opportunity to fess up, you chose to lie right to their faces. Now listen, I understand my upbringing was not typical of everybody's. Grew up in a military household, father serving in the United States military as a sergeant. He didn't play. And whatever the situation was, we'll deal with it. The only thing that I expect, no, the only thing that I demand is that you tell the truth. Particularly when, we see it. I really don't need to ask you. I already know because I see all the evidence. But I'm going to give you the opportunity to come clean. I can deal with whatever your transgression was, as long as you respect me in the process by telling me the truth. At one point in our country's history, that was the MO. That was, regardless of what was happening, you may not like it, it may be unsavory, but doggone it, we're going to tell you the truth and let the chips fall where they may. Whatever happens, it's going to happen. But if nothing else, you cannot say you lied to me about it. In case you haven't guessed by now, it's a different day, y'all. Not only will people lie to your face at work, in the neighborhood, in your social circles, but now the federal government will look you in your face and tell you a flat out, bald faced lie. When you know, you see it over and over and over again, and in essence, they're asking you, well, you going to believe me or your lying eyes? Title 42, fortunately, Chief Justice John Roberts stepped up and put a hold on this before the floodgates just opened on our southern border. But last week, when confronted about this, White House spokesperson Karine Jean-Pierre insulted the press corps and the entire United States of America by saying, and I quote, I want to be very clear here. You notice something? When she says these things, she always puts up one finger. I put up one finger too, Karine, but it wasn't this finger. Quote, I want to be very clear here. The fact is, and she always throws in, the fact is that the removal of Title 42 does not mean the border is open. Anyone who suggests otherwise is simply doing the work of these smugglers who, again, are spreading misinformation, which is very dangerous. Let me repeat, the border is not open. It's not. So the 2 million plus people who we've watched on camera walk across the border are a pigment of our imagination. I know I didn't say figment, pigment, because they're brown skin. That's a pigment of our imagination. The tens of thousands of people that are amassed right now at the border, walking across, that's all fantasy. You know, I understand when you are a member of an administration, particularly if you are the spokesperson, that you are expected to uphold the agenda. I get it. They wouldn't trot you out there if you had not agreed to say what they want you to say, lie when they want you to lie, bend the truth when they want you to bend the truth. I guess it harkens back for me to the fact that I'm old school. Being raised by decent people, parents, neighbors, teachers, I don't care what the situation is. The federal government doesn't print enough money for me to sit here and lie to you in your face, particularly when everybody watching and or listening knows it's a lie. How my fellow Americans continue to put up with this crap is beyond me. I guess there's something to be said about human beings being creatures of habit. Maybe you know how much they lie. And you know pretty much if they're politicians, you can tell they're lying because the lips are moving. So maybe you've just become accustomed to it. But there's a disturbing thought here. They may be thinking, you know what? We have lied to them so much about so much and done it so often that maybe they expect it. They wouldn't know what to do if we told them the truth. The border is not open. By the way, has anyone seen in recent memory the Vice President of the United States of America, the border czar? Has anyone seen Kamala Harris come out and inform the American people about her research into the root causes of all this illegal immigration? Remember, she, on your dime, jumped on Air Force Two and toured all the countries in the Golden Triangle to find out what the root causes of all these people trying to get into our country. Has anybody seen or heard the results of her investigation? If I were you, I wouldn't hold my breath waiting on it. It is all a part of the plan, my friends. All a part of the plan. And at the end of the day, we as Americans, we're a realistic bunch, by and large, I like to think. We see full well what's going on in front of our very eyes. So whatever the scenario happens to be, we'll deal with it. The only thing we ask is that you be honest with us. We have overcome so much in our country's history. And you've heard me say this countless times before. You want to see a fight? Back Americans into a corner and watch what happens. So it's not as though, however ugly the scenario happens to be, we can't deal with it. We excel in things of that nature. So at some point, understanding how we are as Americans, when you continue to tell lie after lie after lie, we start to wonder how little respect you have for us as a people and as a nation. If you hadn't figured this one out yet, you're the problem. For this woman to get up with a straight face and one finger and tell us, well, the fact of the matter is the border is not open. It's closed. How does this woman sleep at night? How do you look yourself in the mirror after a press briefing knowing you just stood up there and told the biggest freaking lie possible? And yet, they conned you suckers into voting Democrat by pledging we're going to be the most transparent administration in history. Well, technically, you were right, because we can see through you like a wet paper bag. And it's not that hard to do. Final break of today's show. We'll get her done, come back, put that big old pretty bow on this puppy, and wrap up the Christmas week edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
Treads & Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads & Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads & Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready. And health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back to the Christmas week edition of the Clarence Bug Show. By the way, only one show this week, so don't show up at Old School Barbecue on Thursday expecting to view the live taping of the show, because English teachers, here we go in 3, 2, 1. I ain't going to be here, okay? Just give you the heads up. Neither Marty, for that matter. Christmas week, obviously a lot of times there are very much hyped movie releases. A couple of my buds, some regulars here for the live taping of the show, pointed out something to me on one of the monitors here during the commercial break. The headline of the story that was being run is the following, and I quote, "Film critic, white actors can't play blue aliens." Avatar 2, right, released this week. And apparently, there's this movie critic that is taking umbrage at the fact that the blue aliens were played by white people. You can't make this stuff up. And as I mentioned in the last commercial break, I bet after saying this film critic was probably poking his or her chest out as the most enlightened person on the planet. So if this is a movie about blue aliens, who's supposed to play the blue aliens? Apparently, there are a bunch of blue aliens running around that we don't know about, one. And number two, there's a ton of blue aliens running around, but they all have jobs. None of them are unemployed, so they don't have time to be in the new Avatar 2 movie. Just when you thought we had reached the apex of stupid, along comes the film critic. Meanwhile, speaking of stupid, I'm flipping through the channels this weekend, and it dawns on me, oh, it's bowl season. The bowl games have started. Cool, let's watch some college football. So I turn on the Lending Tree Bowl. And this shows you the depth to which we have succumbed in this country. Rice University playing in this year's Lending Tree Bowl. The Rice Owls rewarded with a bowl appearance, finished the regular season 5-7. You heard me right. 5 wins, 7 losses, 2 games below 500. And you're rewarded with a bowl game? This has got to be the ultimate example of the participation trophy. Apparently, there must have been a waiver somewhere, because I was under the assumption that you had to have at least 6 wins to be bowl eligible. So apparently for the Lending Tree Bowl, the requirement is, or was, do they wear uniforms? Yeah, okay, well, let them in. Do they put on helmets? Yeah, okay, well, let them in. 5-7. And you're awarded a bowl. Can you say ultimate participation trophy? Of course, now, we should have seen this coming. You do realize, right here in our beloved Louisiana, over the last couple of years, when you look at the records for high school teams in the state playoffs, I've seen teams with a 1-9 record in the playoffs. Do you have any idea how insulting that is to a team that put out all the effort to have a winning season, to go to the playoffs against a team with 1 win? But that, my friends, is what we've become. Everybody's a winner. Everybody gets a trophy. We don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. So let Rice play in a bowl game with a record of 5-7. Never taking the time to realize, what is this saying to the team they're playing? What is this saying to individuals who give 110% to be the best they can be? Sorry. Either that or it really doesn't matter, because everybody's great. Who would have ever thought that we would drop to this point? It is, of course, Christmas week. And with all the hustle and bustle going on, with all the frigid temperatures and the like, my sincere hope is that first and foremost, you and those that you love will all come through the holidays unscathed. I also hope that at some point during this joyous time of year, you will take the opportunity to reflect upon the true meaning of the season. I took as a personal exercise, starting about a week ago, making it a point to watch as many commercials as possible and see how many of them actually referenced the true meaning of Christmas. It pains me to say, I only saw one. And ironically, it came from a group of folks that many people despise. It was a lawyer. It truly is a different day. And listen, y'all, I get it. The holiday season, Christmas in particular, has become so commercialized that many of us have forsaken the true meaning. But at the end of the day, presents under the tree, at the end of the day, wishing people well, all of that is what that is. But you do realize, do you not, that the true celebration is about the greatest gift that was ever given to mankind. Hopefully, you will take the time to have that discussion with your children, your spouses, and yourself. Because when all is said and done, Santa Claus may come and go. The elves may come and go. The reindeer may come and go. The North Pole, because of climate change, may melt and rise to sea levels. But the love of God continues forever, my friends. Here is wishing a very, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you and yours. Don't forget, if you're looking for a New Year's resolution, here's a great one. Next year, I'm going to start making it a point on either Tuesday and or Thursday to go by Old School Barbecue on Coursey Boulevard and sit in on the live taping of the Clarence Bug Show. Marty would love to see you. Elizabeth would love to see you. Amy, Kate, Alan, Jonathan, the whole crew, they'd love to see you. Oh, almost forgot about Brett. He'd love to see you too, although he probably won't see you because he's back in the kitchen doing what he does so very well. And I'd love to see you. That being said, for another year, my time's up and I gotta go. And you already know the drill. That's right. This day, maybe more so than any other in history, I give it to you. You know what? You are 100% correct. America, we are not perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's the best there is. And God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. You know by now the good Lord loves you, and you know I do too. Best news is there ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. Merry Christmas. See you soon.